Welcome to RockCrawlinJeeps late night. Oh yeah.
It's late. It's like 9 p.m. already.
Yeah. So, Moab prep continues. And odds are this will come out after Moab, so I'll probably broken a bunch of shit and be bitching about other things. But a couple months ago, I went wheeling. It's like the only time, but anyway. Went wheeling and put a GoPro underneath, grabbing some cool suspension shots, and noticed my motor was moving around a lot.
Where'd you go wheeling, Zach?
Where was that? 5 Mile?
Alberta train tunnel?
Well, that was part of it. Yeah, we did the train tunnel, and I'll link the other video. But we went out and had fun. Kind of about an hour south of Salt Lake City, here where we live, and we're out playing with a bunch of Jeeps. And yeah, I noticed my motor kind of just crazy torque, and that leads to a lot of fatigue on other things, and I don't really want that. And well, our friends at Ironman4x4Fab decided to take care of that problem. So I'll let everyone guess what's in that box.
The best part right there.
Yeah, yeah. Me and Andy go way back. I've always been a fan of their parts and products, and I'm fortunate enough to call those guys, at this point, basically family. So we've got, ooh, look at that. He even knows my colors. I love you, Andy. We love Ironman blue, but I like black more. So we've got a set of motor mounts here. Ooh. Just in time to slap that bad boy on the rig. Look at that. So, Ironman4x4Fab motor mounts. So we're going to go ahead and get these installed. And while we're at it, we're going to make a pretty sweet install video for you guys. Step by step, every tool, every step, everything you need to know to get these put in your rig without it being a gigantic pain in the ass. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
All right, let's get to it.
All right, step 1. Be a man and carry a pocket knife. Take pocket knife and open all of this shrink wrap off these gorgeous motor mounts. So we're going to get these unpackaged, and then we're going to get the motors supported, and we'll check back in with you guys and let you know exactly what you need to do to get these installed on your rig. First step on this, aside from, you know, the joking around, getting them cut open and things, is going to be to support your motor. Normally you'd want to use an engine hoist or a cherry picker, or, you know, anything that you've got overhead crane style set up to grab the motor from up here. But I know a lot of you, myself included, aren't going to have that option. Used to have that option, then I moved and didn't have room for my engine hoist.
Yeah,
so
now we're working out of a 2-man small car garage.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe someday I'll show you guys my shop that I need to make a way to get a Jeep in. But we're going to use a floor jack and some wood. Is this the best method? No. Will it work? Absolutely. So use a cherry picker if your buddy's got one or you've got one. If not, we're going to show you how to use this. Now, the other really good thing about this is I run Andy's steering brace and track bar brace. My motor really can't go anywhere. If it drops, it goes a whole 1.5 inches. So we're not going to really have any issues. We're supported by the transmission in the back. Now we're just going to try and get this right up in here and get this thing supported. We've got our motor supported. Again, be careful when you're working this way. It's actually, we're going to go ahead and unsupport that and get that situated just a little bit better. Safety is important. Keep that in mind. We don't want anybody to get crunched by their motor. It'd be very hard for it to come out of here, but there also are a lot of pinch points. So be aware of that. Be cautious. Be careful. Get the job done right. Keep all your fingers. So we've got that supported. Now we're going to go up top and get our passenger side motor mount done. We're going to start to remove our passenger side motor mount, and for that, we've just got about 18 inches of extension in a deep well 15. You can use a standard well, 15 is just what I had available, so that's what we're going to use. I do use a bit longer of a ratchet just to give me a bit more leverage, and we're going to start with the 2 upper bolts. We're just going to break those loose. Keeping in mind that some of these AC lines are pretty easy to break. So we're just going to go ahead and get these broken loose, and we'll get these pulled out of here. For the bottom 2 bolts right here, we're going to be using a 15 millimeter short. You could use a mid if you had a mid, but I know the majority of you are either going to have short or long. So we're going to break these loose, and then we're going to get them removed. I will note that we did lower our Jeep down just a little bit on jack stands to make supporting the engine a bit easier and a bit safer as well. For this next bit, you're going to need an 18 millimeter deep and an 18 millimeter wrench. So we'll get our wrench on. Then we'll put our ratchet on, and we'll go ahead and get this broke free. So now that we've got our nut removed off the motor mount bolt, we're going to go ahead and support our motor just a little bit so that we can unweight that motor mount, remove the bolt, and install our new mount. We've unweighted the motor mount. We'll pull that bolt out. And then we're gonna kind of snake this motor mount out of here. It can be a little bit difficult, being that there's all these air conditioning lines in the way. So I think we're gonna be able to come out, if you want to film this. So we're gonna come out right through here. I think this will be the easiest way for us to take this out. We'll just kind of lift this big old hose right out of the way, come right up like that. And out comes our old worn out motor mount. And here's what you do with these. So now we're going to get our new one put in. We're going to go in the exact same way that we just came out. Right down through here. Right down past this big AC line. We'll move this line right out of the way. We'll get our bracket oriented. And she'll slide right into place. So then we take our big bolt and we put it right back in where we just took it out from. So that bolt will go right in through the hole, right out the very front again. So from this point on, we're going to put all of our hardware back in loosely by hand, and then we'll go back through and tighten up just the same way that we removed them. Once you've gotten all of your hardware installed, you're going to get your 2 upper bolts and your 2 side bolts. Once you get those installed with everything loose, keep in mind you're going to have to use the jack or your engine hoist to kind of move that motor mount around and let everything float. Once you get that done, you can go ahead and tighten up all 4 bolts. So we went ahead and tightened our 2 lower bolts. Now we're just going to finish tightening up our 2 upper bolts. And you don't need to go too crazy, just get them nice and snug. Just like that. So now we'll switch to our 18 millimeter setup, both wrench and socket, and we'll go ahead and make sure that our bolt right down in here is nice and snug. This is sometimes a good one to have a friend help you on. You know, make sure that they're holding the wrench. That'll kind of help you out, but you can do this by yourself. So we got that snugged up. Now we're going to move on to side 2. This side is a bit more complicated, so we'll dive into that in just a second. We went ahead and removed our airbox. Pretty simple, couple of 10mm bolts, I want to say. Mine are actually missing, so I don't know. Previous mechanic, thanks for that. But so we went ahead and removed the airbox, flathead screwdriver, a couple of pull-off pieces, nice and easy, nothing too complicated. So we'll get that out of the way. We have a couple of bolts right down in here that we'll go ahead and take care of. We have our same 15mm with a long extension, and we're going to go ahead and break this loose. The majority of this side is going to be done from underneath, so we'll be hopping underneath there in just a second. So you do have the option of removing the steering shaft and accessing the second bolt on the top of the uniframe rail with a socket. We're going to take a ratchet wrench and see if we can get it out that way. If not, we'll be coming back in it and removing that shaft and going about it with our same 15mm setup. So we looked at the option of getting a wrench in there, not feasible. So there's one 13mm bolt right here in our steering shaft, and we're just going to take that out, and then you just pry it back just a little bit off the splined section, and it's right out of the way. Super easy. Alright, so once you've got that disconnected, you're just going to pry it back from here. There's a slip joint there. You can just set this off to the side. Then we'll grab our 15mm plus extensions, and it goes right down. Oh, I'm sorry. We have 13 on there right now. Let's grab our 15. So you can grab your 15. Preference on depth is up to you. Doesn't really matter here. So we'll take that. We'll get that pulled off. For the lower bolts, you'll need a 15mm deep to get past some of this stuff, and there is a really large opening here, so it's nice and easy to get this taken out. I mean, I do have long arms, so that is kind of playing into this, but even on short arms, you shouldn't have too much trouble getting in here. So now we're going to take our 18mm wrench and our 18mm socket and ratchet, and I'm going to leave the wrench right up here up top, and I'm going to go underneath on the backside, and we're going to undo the big bolt. So you'll have to kind of find a creative spot to get some real leverage, but once you do, it should come out fairly easy. There it goes.
I'd say these are pretty worn out.
What do you think?
Yeah, that's kind of seen better days. They're not supposed to be two-piece, so. Ooh, Kobe. We went ahead and put all of our hardware in, kept it nice and loose. Then we jacked up the motor just a little bit to get the motor mount to align, and we slid in our main motor mount bolt. So now we're going to go ahead and grab a wrench and tighten that up. So this is our 18mm with an 18mm wrench, and we're just going to get this nice and tight. Got our bottom two bolts taken care of. Now we're going to take care of our top two. Keeping in mind, just nice and tight, not anything crazy. You don't want to snap those off, trust me. We got our steering sector shaft put back on, or our sector shaft, our steering column shaft here. You're just going to put this bolt back in. It's a 13mm. Use your nice long extension. Super easy. Get that put back on, and you're basically done. All you got to do now, install your intake. In my case, lift it back up, put your wheels and tires on. You're good to go. Super easy. You know, I had 3 pieces of motor mount when you should have 2. So, yeah, if you're looking at your motor when you rev it and it's doing this whole thing, give Andy at Ironman4x4Fab a call. Get you a set of motor mounts right out to you, and that'll fix that problem. And the good thing for us, we're already running a training mount from them. So now our whole drivetrain combo is stiff as a rock, not going to have any issues at all. And I look forward to having some reliability while at EJS this year and at Moab this weekend. So super stoked to have these finally put in. They've been on my shelf for like 4 months. So super happy to have finally had some time to get them put on. And by had some time, I mean work till midnight. But happy to have them on. Thanks so much, Andy and Kevin and all the people at Ironman4x4Fab for taking care of us and making super top-notch products. So thanks again, guys. Please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Go check out Iron4x4Fab.com. Like, comment, and subscribe to those guys. They're awesome. They race. They beat on all their parts. They don't sell anything that they wouldn't sell to anybody competing at King of the Hammers. So all of the parts on my rig can go to King of the Hammers, not have a single failure, and I'm super happy to say that. I've been running Andy's products for almost 10 years, and I have not once had a part failure. I don't even think I've had one wear out. So, you know, if you want the best, buy the best, and it's Ironman4x4Fab. That wraps up our install. Airbox all put back in, wheels put back on. Look at them sexy things. Kevin's gonna love this. Team Raceline, homie. Raceline beadlocks. If you're not running them, you should be. So, super, super happy to have this done. Now we gotta do a little test. Not moving. No movement. Stiffness aboard. Look at that. No more movement. Now I can actually go rock crawling, not worry about that. So, thanks much, guys.